that's all right.
But I came out this morning and I noticed this little pile of dust here. This tree got destroyed last year. We didn't know. Here's a good metaphor. The tree was perfectly healthy on the outside and the core had rotted out. Well, we had to hire a guy because it fell on top of the roof of my shop and on top of my wood shed. We had to hire a guy to come cut it out. So I came out this morning and noticed this dust. It made me look up and I noticed this and that and that and this. This tree is going. The rest of it is going.
And it's huge.
If you'll look over here, Lynn, you can see.
I'm afraid to come in.
Free. It's not going to fall this way, dumbass.
I know, but it might explode.
Okay, see that?
Oh, shit.
Okay, so it's definitely going to go, which is what the tree guy told me, but he wouldn't do it last year because he was in the middle of doing something. It took him too long as it was. It was an emergency job. Okay, so here's my question. Not to you, the viewer, although... Hello! Okay, so you already saw part 1 of dealing with the tree. It has now been 2 days after the tree started cracking and popping. We called the tree guy. It took him, he told us, I'll come this afternoon, he didn't. I'll come this evening, he didn't. I'll come in the morning, he didn't. He finally got here at 1:30, day before yesterday. Took one look at the freaking tree and said, I can't get my bucket truck in, so I'm not doing it. We called another tree guy. He hasn't even called us back. So I'm dealing with it. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. I've got to go get the battery for my chainsaw. My gas chainsaw, of course, which should be what you want to use. I took the jack yesterday because the sumbitch doesn't run. And my friend Jack, he's what we like to call...
A jack of all trades?
No, we like to call him a cracker jack.
That's true.
Call him a cracker jack, because in our family, a cracker jack is somebody who can do just about anything and can take something that's not running and make it run. Now, I don't know how you guys use cracker jack, and please don't tell me they use it detrimentally or horribly. Okay, so let's talk about this fucking tree for a minute. First off, I feel like the universe right now is just one more thing in me right to fucking death. If you're there with me, can I get an amen? Amen! You know, it's not enough my mother's sick and freaking plague and all this crap, right? Now we got this tree to deal with. Okay, so this is the problem with always being a broke-ass motherfucker, okay? The problem is, last year, this tree cracked in half. I told you about that, a little bit about that. What I didn't tell you, get into detail with, was we hired the same guy that came out here and said he wouldn't work on it because he couldn't get his bucket truck in. He came in, it had fallen on this shop roof. Lynn will pan up. You can see it poked a hole there. It poked a hole there. Poked a hole over there. I needed to fix the roof anyway, and what you can't see is that between what you're looking at there, it poked a hole there and there. What you can't see is that between here and there, there's now a completely new structure that the actual roof sets on. This is like just
like
the underpinning almost of the new roof, because there's all new 2x4s and then it's steel over that. Any rate, so he came, all he did was cut the limbs and the tree trunk so that they weren't on the roof and we could move them. And then I did all the cutting of all the limbs and all the haul off of all the brush. $450. Okay, so tree work is really, really expensive because it's super dangerous. Okay, at the time, he told me that the rest of the tree would probably not live, but two things happened. He didn't have time to work on it then, and we were out of fucking money. So, now it's cracked all to shit. So I'm going to show you, hopefully Lynn can get in here. I had to move everything that if the tree fell, it would break. All my toilet tanks, all that shit I had in storage. If Lynn will look up here, you can now see that you can see daylight through the trunk.
Oh, from where you are, I'm sure.
And it's quite a bit more falling the general direction. I want it to fall this way because it will then hopefully miss my shop roof. I took a notch out of here, okay, to kind of tempt it, and I took the notch that I made out of there and I drove it into here. I drove it into here to again try to get the tree to twist, because
Can you show
if
me
she'll
where?
pan up
Can you show me where you drove it?
right there.
Oh, I see. I see. Yes, I see.
Okay, now get back.
No,
'cause
I'm
you're in
doing
the
that. I know.
dangerous-
I know.
Okay, so
If I'll pan over where?
if you'll pan up here, you can see my biggest problem. If this limb would fall with the base of the trunk, we'd be fine. Because the trunk, the base of the trunk wants to move this way. Unfortunately, that crack up there means that it could split there at any minute and fall that way.
Right on the shot.
Okay, so here's the problem. First off, we're having trouble even getting a tree guy to answer us. Second off, even if it fell on my shop, unless it did serious structural damage, which it probably wouldn't, it would probably just hit the corner. It will probably be cheaper for me to fix the damage done by the falling tree than to pay a tree guy. But I'm trying to hedge my bets. I cannot drop this tree. I do not have a big enough saw. And super dangerous for an old woman to do.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't tackle it if I had a great big saw. I'm wearing this hard hat today as if this ginormous tree fell on my head, it would actually save me. All it would do is make my hair look nice when my wife takes me to the crematorium. So, anyway, what I'm gonna do though is, if she'll pan up to a limb, you can see the fucking tree is still alive.
Yes.
Which means it's super heavy. It's heavy, the leaves are heavy, the water under the bark is heavy. What I'm gonna do is a thing called ringing. I'm gonna ring the tree. I'm gonna go through the bark. Now, it could fall at any fucking minute, okay? But if it's gonna take a week to fall, if I ring it, the leaves should start dying and falling off, and that should make it less heavy. Plus, the sap should run down the trunk and out and make the limbs less heavy.
Yeah.
So, it's a chance. Now, what Lynn's gonna do is she's gonna spot me, because when I'm running the saw, I'm not gonna be able to hear if this is popping. And when I'm trying to cut a groove in the bark, I can't be watching it. Do not panic and yell unless you see the tree move.
Okay.
Okay.
She
Step back
she
a
sa-
little
she
bit.
says she says as
Just
if
a
she
little
would
bit.
not.
Don't get in the sun, but step back a little bit. You know, believe it or not, I got to cut this little piece because this is still. Very little is still alive over here. And by the way, I love this little battery operated saw because I don't have to do this. But not nearly as powerful as my gas saw.
Well, and the gas saw, the bar isn't long enough anyway to take
My
it
gas saw
down.
is not any longer than this. What I needed a 24-inch bar to even think about trying to cut this tree.
And she heads off into the backside where it will fall. Hey, get out of here. Get out. We don't need a dog in here. Go. Go. Yes, that was our big dog going to see if Selena will pet her. Yeah. Not a good time for petting.
Hell, there's only 2 or 3 places in this where we're still alive. Okay. So is that still alive there? I don't think so. I'll go for it anyway. No, that's not even connected anymore. So now I kind of hope it doesn't fall right away. I kind of hope that it allows part of this to drain out and part of those leaves so it's not as heavy. So when it falls, it does less damage. But when it falls, it is going to do damage. I'm going to lose a couple of fences, but those are easily fixed.
Hopefully we won't lose the trees over
Hopefully
there.
it does not fall on the corner of my shop.
Yeah,
But even that, not the end of the world.
right.
It's not going to fall in the big ass middle of my shop. It's going to fall on my chicken house, but as you know, my chicken house is made from solid concrete, so it should be okay. These trees that are on the other side of it will stop it from hitting my little outbuildings full force, so they should be okay. It's just one of those things. And this is what happens when you're a broke ass motherfucker. I'm just telling you.
Okay, sign out.
Until now, till next time, bye.